What's up, guys? It's your boy AlmightySkyDxddy back with a new Naruto What If series. Reborn in Naruto. Evil MC possess suppress Naruto's dark side. Part 2. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video, share, and leave a comment. This really helps with the algorithm. Remember to check out the author of this fantastic fanfic. Link in the description. Also, I have set up a Patreon account. Consider joining to support the channel and for more exclusive content. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. You can use this power to safeguard the village and its inhabitants. Just like the fourth Hokage. Upon hearing Hiruzen Sarutobi's words, Naruto's body quivered. He immediately ceased sobbing and looked up, his eyes filled with hope. Similar to the fourth Hokage. Does that mean that once I fully master the nine-tailed demon fox's power, I can become the Hokage? Hiruzen Sarutobi's smile faltered momentarily upon hearing this, but quickly regained its composure. Naruto, no one can predict the future. But Grandpa is certain that as long as you can protect the village with the power of the nine tails, there is a high probability that you will become the Hokage. A high probability is merely a probability, and if something is probabilistic, there is always a chance of failure. However, at Naruto's age, he couldn't grasp such a concept. On the contrary, Sarutobi Hiruzen's words transformed Naruto's sorrow into joy, and he became extremely excited. I will become the Hokage in the future, hahaha. Observing Naruto's happiness, he heaved a sigh of relief. Sarutobi Hiruzen's previously anxious heart finally settled. Yet, his visit was not solely to deceive Naruto. He still needed to uncover the consciousness that had possessed Naruto's body and fought against Mizuki. Alright, Naruto, I have explained the nine tails matter to you. Now it's your turn to explain. Tell me, what is that entity that helped you in defeating Mizuki? Hiruzen Sarutobi's tone brooked no denial. Simultaneously, his unwavering gaze fixed upon Naruto determined not to miss any expressions. Assisted me in defeating Mizuki, Naruto exclaimed, his face betraying panic upon realizing his secret had been discovered. Witnessing Naruto's distressed countenance, Hiruzen Sarutobi's heart sank. It appeared that, as he suspected, the consciousness of the nine tails had been unleashed. The utilization of Naruto's body to vanquish a Chunin could be attributed to the combat experience of the Kyuubi. Meanwhile, on the other side, Naruto was desperately summoning Kase within his mind. Kase, what to do now? Should I tell about your existence to the third Hokage? Will we be deemed as abominations? Would they dissect and experiment on us? Sensing Naruto's concerns, Kase swiftly interjected. Don't worry, we can't conceal this for long. Kase dared to reveal the truth openly, with no intention of concealment. After all, he would frequently emerge to take control of the body. It would be too troublesome to concoct excuses each time. Besides, it was merely a case of multiple personalities, with Naruto still holding the reins. It was not a significant issue at all. As long as they demonstrated sufficient value, Hiruzen Sarutobi would be delighted. Regarding analysis and experimentation absurd. Would they dare to research on a treasure like us? Just be open about our situation. There shouldn't be any issues. As soon as Kase finished speaking, he recalled that Hiruzen Sarutobi had just mentioned mastering the power of the nine tails. He added, by the way, remember to inform him that I can control a small portion of the nine tails' power. With those words, Kase exchanged his blackening points for one tail chakra mode. Successful exchange. Blackening points. Minus 2000 current blackening points. 1400 The emotional fluctuations resulting from Naruto and Sarutobi Hiruzen's conversation earned him an additional 100 blackening points. So, with 3300 plus 102,000, he had 1400 blackening points remaining. With your assurance, I feel relieved, Naruto exclaimed, taking a sigh of relief. He then turned his head and proceeded to explain to Hiruzen Sarutobi. As Hiruzen Sarutobi listened to Naruto's explanation, he was left dumbfounded. Another persona born from painful memories. The strength is formidable, and you have indeed mastered a portion of the nine tails' abilities, but you cannot fully control the body. As Hiruzen Sarutobi spoke, his mouth widened, forming a perfect O shape, as if it could swallow a fist whole. After recovering from his surprise, Hiruzen Sarutobi asked, with a grave expression, Naruto, can you truly gain control and assert dominance over your body? Naruto nodded solemnly. Yes. When I was outside earlier, I merely thought of it and managed to regain control of my body. It's just that Hiruzen Sarutobi had spent too much time idling around, accomplishing nothing. But the excitement on his face revealed his delight. Can Grandpa witness it? By the way, can you demonstrate the power of the nine tails to me? Grandpa can help analyze if there is any risk of losing control. Once again, Naruto nodded. Then, his entire demeanor transformed. From warm and affable to cold and distant. This is my first meeting with you, Mr. Sarutobi. I am Uzumaki Kazekyo, Naruto's alter ego. Naturally, Kase couldn't address him as the Grandpa Hokage-sama. If not for his current lack of strength, he wouldn't even consider calling him anything other than Old Man Sarutobi or even Old Dog. Uzumaki Kazekyo, that's a fine name. From now on, you may address me as Grandpa, just like Naruto does. Hiruzen Sarutobi drew closer, attempting to establish a closer relationship. Kase couldn't be bothered to argue with him or seek his concern. He did not need it. Ignoring his attempt, Kase activated the One-Tail Chakra mode. This is the initial mastery I have achieved over the Nine Tails power. The type that I can fully control. As he spoke, a light red chakra enveloped Kase's entire body. A thick elongated reddish tail emerged from between his thighs. Simultaneously, an aura of dominance and malevolence permeated the room. The moment Kase manifested the Nine Tails chakra, within the sealed space of the 8 trigrams on his abdomen, a long narrow fox's eyes opened in the darkness. This familiar energy, it's my chakra. The Nine Tails face expressed utter bewilderment. It had not sensed any chakra depletion. Could it be my yin attribute? Due to the seal's barrier, the Kyuubi couldn't accurately discern the chakra attributes. When it was sealed by Minato, it was split into 2 halves. The yang attribute half remained here, while the yin attribute half entered the belly of the death god alongside Minato's soul. Someone has released my yin attribute. Narrowing its eyes, the Kyuubi carefully sensed the chakra outside. It's so weak could it be that after being released, it was quickly captured again, providing power to someone else like I currently do. The Kyuubi concluded that it must have been recaptured after briefly escaping. In its mind, it seemed like a waste, as it had hoped to lend a helping hand to save itself. Now, it believed there was no chance for that to happen, and it might as well go back to sleep. Little did it know that the chakra it sensed was not of the yin attribute. It was a completely new manifestation of the Nine Tails created by the system. Outside the sealed space, Hiruzen Sarutobi's face displayed a mix of excitement and eagerness. The palpitations, it's undoubtedly the Nine Tails chakra. Excellent. Excellent. The greedy expression on Sarutobi's face quickly disappeared, replaced by genuine excitement. While the power of the Nine Tails was formidable, it needed to be controlled and harnessed properly. Reluctantly tearing his gaze away from the pale red chakra, Hiruzen Sarutobi waved his hand and called out to Kase. Grandpa has seen enough. Please put it away. Kase stared back at Hiruzen Sarutobi with dead eyes, and retracted the Nine Tails chakra without a hint of expression. Simultaneously, he relinquished control of his body, returning it to Naruto. In an instant, Naruto's expression and aura underwent a complete transformation. Grasping his body with a proud expression and amiable demeanor, Naruto spoke. See Grandpa Hokage, I said Kase is strong. Naruto appeared proud, and simultaneously, a system message sounded from Kase's side. The current trust dependency value of the master personality. 35%, the system reported. Observing Naruto's demeanor, Hiruzen Sarutobi offered a reminder. It's undeniably impressive, Naruto, but remember that you must work diligently, Sarutobi cautioned. You mustn't fall too far behind the sub-personality in terms of capabilities. You should progress hand in hand. Although Naruto currently had the upper hand over Kase, their power balance could create potential complications if the gap between them grew too wide. Naruto obediently nodded in agreement. I'll give it my all, he affirmed. Furthermore, Kase informed me that these abilities are all inherent to my body, Naruto continued. With hard work, I can become as powerful as him in no time. Hearing Naruto's words, Hiruzen Sarutobi felt relieved. In terms of naivety and trust, Naruto was better suited compared to Kase. Alright, let's conclude our discussion for today. I'm glad to see that you're doing well, Sarutobi stated. Having obtained the desired information, Sarutobi had no intention of prolonging his stay. He stood up and retrieved an envelope he had prepared from his pocket. As an early congratulations on your upcoming graduation, this contains 2 months' worth of living expenses, a gift from your grandfather, Sarutobi explained. Thank you, Grandpa Sarutobi. Naruto's smile widened as he accepted the visibly thicker envelope. Now he could enjoy some delicious ramen this month. Putting on his Hokage hat, Sarutobi continued speaking while walking toward the exit. According to the village's regulations, once you become a ninja after graduation, the village will no longer provide living expenses for you, Sarutobi clarified. From now on, you'll need to earn rewards by completing missions to sustain yourself. But don't worry, you'll have a teacher assigned to you, who will lead your team and guide you step by step. Naruto's excitement surged upon hearing that he could earn rewards through missions. The ninja life he had longed for was finally within reach. I understand, and I'll strive to earn those rewards, Naruto affirmed. It's good to see that you comprehend the situation. The village also faces its own challenges, Sarutobi responded. After bidding farewell to Sarutobi Hiruzeru, Naruto eagerly opened the envelope in his hand. Lucky me, Naruto exclaimed, noting that the amount was noticeably larger than before. With that much money, he could savor 30 bowls of ramen. Naruto's mouth watered at the thought of Ichiraku ramen served with Naruto rolls. He carefully took out the frog wallet given to him by Hinata, and placed all the money inside. Feeling at ease, Naruto lay back on his bed. Simultaneously, he recalled Kei's earlier mention of a method to earn money. Curiously, he asked in his mind, Kei, what was that way of making money you mentioned before? Kei also recollected the matter upon Naruto's mention. In the ninja world, money held significant importance. Kei himself required funds for emergencies, and had plans that necessitated financial support. After contemplating for a while, Kei responded, give me some paper and a pen, and allow me to control my body. I intend to write novels as a means of making money. As a transmigrator, being a plagiarist and earning money was an effortless task for Kei. Moreover, Kei worked as a copywriter before transmigrating, and even during the crossover, he was in the midst of writing a film review when it occurred. Writing novels to make money. Naruto's white eyes filled with disbelief. Having not read many books, he couldn't fathom Kei as a novelist. Stop babbling and you'll see if it works once we try, Kei retorted, aware of the popularity of novels in this world, especially those of the romantic genre, like the Icha Icha Paradise by Jiraiya. Confident in his abilities, Kei's plan aligned with writing a novel of the same genre, ensuring its marketability. Witnessing Kei's unwavering confidence, Naruto promptly located a pen and paper, eager to witness the stories Kei would craft. He was also prepared to revel in laughter, anticipating a good joke from Kei. Taking control of Naruto's body, Kei recalled the plot in his mind, and jotted down the title of the novel. Young Abin no, Young Aming. Chapter 1. The Landlady. Aming's performance at the ninja school was far from satisfactory. As the sound of pencil strokes filled the room, Kei continued to write, crafting 10 chapters and 20,000 words over the course of nearly 2 hours. Deciding to add more details later, he stopped at this point. However, Naruto, engrossed in this story's highlights, was dissatisfied. Why did you stop? Keep writing. Naruto pleaded. I want to witness the downfall of his cousin. I want to see Aming. His anticipation was palpable, and Kei was content with the reaction. Patience, we'll finish the draft tomorrow, Kei replied, concluding his control over Naruto's body. He planned to have Naruto seek the help of his supportive friend, Am, to deliver the novel. After all, there were only a few people who truly cared for Naruto, and he had limited options. Naruto delivering it himself might even lead to rejection at the gate. The next morning, within the confines of the ninja school classroom, Naruto lay listlessly on his desk, sporting 2 prominent dark circles under his eyes. His sleep had been restless, tossing and turning throughout the night, engrossed in the captivating narrative of young Aming's adventures. And by tossing and turning, of course, he imagined himself as the protagonist. As the sun rose, more students trickled into the classroom, their presence growing. Among them was Sasuke, who took his seat behind Naruto. As he passed by, his eyes fell upon Naruto's silly grin. With a disdainful sneer, Sasuke uttered a condescending remark, idiot. As a fellow orphan of Konoha, Naruto, who ranked at the bottom, felt deeply embarrassed in front of Sasuke, a prodigious student. Hearing the insult, Naruto turned his head, his expression reflecting his displeasure. At first glance, he caught sight of Sasuke's cold, aloof face behind him. Recalling the bridge incident from the young Aming story, a fire lit inside his heart. Naruto looked at him intently and asked, who are you calling an idiot? Not comprehending Naruto's question clearly, Sasuke responded with continued mockery, I called the one at the bottom ranks of class an idiot. Who else? Naruto paused and nodded solemnly, only an idiot wouldn't understand what I meant. Sasuke's expression darkened instantly. When did Naruto become so quick-witted? Normally, he was an easy target, incapable of retorting. Trash who only knows how to blabber. Sasuke retorted. Undeterred by Sasuke's retort, Naruto maintained his calm demeanor. An idiot who can't even speak clearly. He shot back, his words landing with a crackling intensity. For a moment, their eyes locked, and it felt as if lightning bolts were exchanged between Naruto and Sasuke. On the sidelines, Choji, who was munching on potato chips, burst into laughter. Hahaha. Shikamaru, look at Naruto. He's hilarious today. Shikamaru, leaning back with a sigh, held his head in his hands. Here we go again. Is it really worth it, all for that big-headed Sakura? He observed Naruto and frowned. Shikamaru had heard from his father about the events of the previous night. Naruto's true strength had been revealed, as he managed to defeat a traitorous Chunin. He couldn't help but question who truly held the title of the top student. Naruto's abilities were far from being underestimated. At the very least, he proved he could hold his ground against a Chunin. He himself didn't think he could fight a Chunin, but the possibility of escaping was not entirely ruled out. Shikamaru wasn't ready to declare a clear winner between Naruto and Sasuke just yet. Meanwhile, the tension between Naruto and Sasuke continued to escalate. Sakura and Ino entered the classroom together, their arrival accompanied by loud shouts claiming who had stepped in first. Following behind them was Hinata, wearing a timid expression. Initially, Hinata had intended to intervene and mediate the dispute between the two girls. However, upon witnessing Naruto and Sasuke's confrontation, her face flushed with embarrassment. She decided against getting involved and quietly returned to her seat. As Sakura and Ino exchanged a few heated words, their attention was drawn to Naruto and Sasuke, who were engaged in a standoff. Abruptly, the two girls ceased their argument and joined the crowd that had formed around the rivaling boys. They showered Sasuke with praise while admonishing Naruto. This resulted in Naruto growing increasingly furious, but Sasuke's anger surpassed his own. Amidst the classroom's uproar and the crowd's taunting, the atmosphere resembled that of a bustling marketplace. However, the commotion was short-lived as Iruka entered the classroom accompanied by two unfamiliar Chunin teachers. He announced, "Alright, everyone, return to your seats. We will commence this year's ninja graduation exam immediately." Iruka surveyed the classroom, his gaze lingering on Naruto, filled with a mix of emotions. Yet, in the end, he opted to forego any special remarks and remained silent. Upon hearing the news of a graduation exam, Naruto's spirits were lifted. Finally, it was his chance to showcase his skills. He had mastered A-level ninjutsu, surpassing the knowledge of any Chunin teacher. "Sasuke, my grades today will surpass yours." Naruto couldn't resist turning his head to compare himself to Sasuke. However, Sasuke's response dashed his hopes. "Stop daydreaming, you idiot." Sasuke barely finished his dismissive remark when Iruka's voice reverberated through the classroom, striking Sasuke like a slap in the face. First up is Naruto. He is exempt from the exam since he defeated a Chunin. Iruka's words immediately stirred up a storm of emotions, causing an explosion of disbelief in the classroom. The dope defeated a Chunin. Pinch me, I must be dreaming. It's impossible. Naruto must have bribed the teacher. There's something fishy going on. We demand that Naruto take the exam. Sasuke's face turned pale, mirroring his incredulity. Witnessing everyone's disbelief and accusations of foul play only added fuel to the fire. Frustrated and anxious, Naruto climbed onto a table and frantically tried to explain himself to the surrounding students. His actions elicited a stern response from the consciousness within the space of his mind, K's. In a scolding tone, K's instructed him, "Idiot, explanations won't help. Show and summon multiple shadow clones to prove yourself." Naruto, as though awakening from a dream, knocked his head in realization. "Oh, right. I almost forgot." With swift hand movements, he began forming seals in front of him. Multiple shadow clone technique. In an instant, the entire classroom was flooded with countless Naruto clones. Even Iruka and the two teachers were pushed to the corner. The other students found themselves surrounded by Naruto clones from all directions, overwhelmed by his presence. "Naruto, you fool. Dismiss the clones quickly. There are too many." Iruka, veins bulging on his forehead, shouted from the corner of the room. Meanwhile, the two teachers next to him wore expressions akin to thunderclouds. Realizing the trouble he had caused, Naruto swiftly dispelled the shadow clones. Nevertheless, a smug grin remained on his face as he surveyed the students around him. "Haha. That was A-level ninjutsu. You don't know any, do you? But I do." Naruto's expression was a mix of pride and awkwardness, yet the students endured it. The doubts and disbelief had vanished, replaced by a sense of awe and even a tinge of fear. Truth be told, after witnessing that display, they were all grateful they hadn't challenged Naruto collectively. With the absurdity settled, Naruto returned to his seat, proudly wearing his newly acquired forehead protector. The graduation exam resumed, and the attention of the other students shifted back to their own tests. Sasuke, however, sat with his head down, grinding his teeth in frustration. The words A-level ninjutsu, multiple shadow clones, and defeated Chunin reverberated in his mind like sharp knives, piercing his wounded pride. Compounded with Naruto's occasional taunting glances, Sasuke clenched his fists beneath the table, his nails digging into his flesh. Even during his turn to take the exam, Sasuke's mind was clouded. He made frequent mistakes, and if it weren't for Iruka noticing his distress and giving him a second chance, Sasuke might have had to wait until the following year to graduate. Sasuke's current state of mind could best be described by the phrase, "I'm not afraid of Naruto's suffering, I'm afraid of Naruto advancing. With the conclusion of the graduation exam, the gates of the ninja school became animated once again. Parents gathered to pick up their children. Naruto initially planned to leave immediately, avoiding the verbal onslaught from these parents. However, Kase intervened, advising Naruto to toughen his heart against the curses. It was through enduring such hardships that Naruto would learn to control the power of the Nine Tails without losing himself. And so, Naruto resolved to face the barrage of insults, determined to reach a point of mastery over his inner strength. And thus, Naruto threw himself into the midst of the crowd, seeking out places where people gathered. He listened to the parents' tirades against him while simultaneously attempting to distance himself from their verbal attacks. Ninja School became the stage for a comedic spectacle. A large group of people cursed Naruto, who was weaving through the chaos. With each encounter, Kase's blackening value increased once again, reflecting Naruto's progress in weathering the storm. Blackening value plus 600 current blackening value. 2200 after enduring a deluge of scolding, it was finally noon. According to Kase's plan, Naruto headed home to retrieve the manuscript he had written. With money in hand, he proceeded straight to the Ichiraku ramen restaurant. Hey Naruto. Good afternoon. Are you here for some ramen? The chef, with a large spoon in hand, beamed at Naruto, his smile infectious. Caught up in the chef's cheerfulness, Naruto's discomfort from the earlier scolding dissipated, and he returned the smile. Yes, I'd like one of your signature luxurious ramen bowls, uncle. The chef, known as Tucci, widened his eyes in surprise upon hearing Naruto's request. He playfully slapped his hand against his forehead. A bowl of luxurious ramen. Naruto, did you strike gold today? Naruto chuckled and scratched the back of his head, his face filled with pride. I secured the top spot in the graduation exam today, finally becoming an official ninja. Tucci and the other customers at the ramen restaurant were taken aback. Nevertheless, they genuinely congratulated Naruto on his achievements. Congratulations, Naruto. It's been a long journey, but you finally graduated after 2.5 years of hard work. Naruto's excitement soared as he accepted their warm wishes. Thank you, Uncle Tucci. As a graduation gift, I want to treat everyone here to Uncle Tucci's ramen. Tucci, moved by Naruto's gesture, wiped away a tear and patted him on the back. That's incredibly kind of you, Naruto. I'm honored to serve you all today. As the to be honest, he was really ashamed to show the book written by Kase. Noticing Naruto's gaze, raised an eyebrow curiously. Is there something on my face, Naruto? Blushing slightly, Naruto replied, I actually have something I want to discuss with you. Intrigued, set down the bowl of ramen she had been enjoying and leaned forward. Sure, Naruto, what's on your mind? Naruto took a deep breath and gathered his courage. Well, you see, I've written a novel, and I was wondering if you could help me with it, Surprised by Naruto's revelation, extended a hand to take the manuscript. Behind her, the figure of her friend also leaned forward with curiosity. Their eyes locked onto the title written on the cover of the manuscript. Young Aming. Is this a story based on yourself, Naruto? Asked with a narrow smile on his face. No, it's just a coincidence that the names are similar. Naruto waved his hands repeatedly, trying to dismiss any connection. However, Naruto couldn't help but feel anxious as he remembered the contents written inside. He pleaded with and the others, please, I beg you, don't read what's inside, not yet at least. Observing Naruto's embarrassed expression, lightly slapped his hands and said with a smile, alright, I won't peek. Let's eat our noodles quickly, they won't taste as good when they get cold. Discreetly retreated to the back kitchen, pretending not to hear anything. But Naruto's expression piqued her curiosity, and she couldn't resist the urge to read it first. Naruto glanced in the direction of the back kitchen, sensing the impending teasing that awaited him. To ward off any further embarrassment, he decided to channel his grief and anger into his appetite, devouring the ramen. Slow down, kid. What if you choke? Tucci cautioned, surprised by Naruto's ravenous eating habits, similar to a starving ghost reincarnated. Worried about Naruto's well-being, Tucci quickly filled a bowl with pork bone soup and handed it to him, fearing that he might choke. 10 minutes later, Naruto had completely devoured a large bowl of ramen, including the noodles and soup. Who had escaped to the back kitchen, emerged with a flushed face. The 20,000-word 10-chapter content had been read within a span of 10 minutes. So, do you think Naruto's writing will be well received by the publishing house? Tucci asked, realizing that he had missed something important. Blushed, her face still flushed from the heat of the kitchen stoves, and replied with a shy voice, well, it's not bad. It's actually quite good. She stole a timid glance at Naruto, her voice trailing off. I just didn't expect Naruto to be capable of writing this kind of novel. No wonder he frequents the women's bathhouse and reads magazines in bookstores. AM, though being a female, found Naruto's plot highly intriguing, appreciating his experiences as a regular visitor to the women's bathhouse, and a favorite of the little emperor's uncle in the bookstore. Sneak into the women's bathhouse. Read risque magazines. He questioned, puzzled about the connection between Naruto's novel and his personal habits. Doubt clouded his face, but before AM could respond, Naruto decisively interrupted. AM, please stop. Let's hurry. If I don't finish the draft on time, I'll have to rush to complete it this afternoon. AM felt Naruto's words were valid and refrained from further discussion. Removing the white apron and headscarf, she left the shop. After you finish writing, remember to show it to me for review. I can also help you spot any typos, AM chimed in, her heart already captivated by the 20,000-word content. Naruto had gained his first avid fan. I promise you'll be the first to see it, AM. Naruto assured her. With Naruto's consent, AM set off contentedly toward another street. Shueisha Company Limited. Naruto didn't have to wait long before witnessing Akira emerge with a man sporting a flattering smile on his face. Here he is, the one who wrote the novel, the one you referred to as a monster, AM introduced to Naruto. What monster? Don't talk nonsense. I never said that. Hirohiko retorted, his confusion evident. The man's flattering smile remained unchanged as he approached Naruto eagerly. You must be Uzumaki Naruto, the author who wrote the novel called Aming. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Hirohiko Kishimoto, your editor. It's an honor to work with you. As an experienced editor, Kishimoto believed that this young man, Aming, had the potential to rival the popular Icha Paradise. Naruto being called a monster held no weight, even if he was a monster it did not matter. Hello Mr. Kishimoto, Naruto greeted him, still taken aback by the sudden encounter. So, is my manuscript accepted? Naruto inquired eagerly. Kishimoto nodded, bowing respectfully before Naruto. Yes, sir, your work is exceptional. Let's go inside and sign the contract. Inviting Naruto into the building, Kishimoto couldn't help but shower him with more praise. It's a great honor for you to choose our publishing house. I assure you that we will promote your book wholeheartedly. It is bound to become a sensational hit, even surpassing Icha Paradise. Hearing such flattery, Naruto couldn't help but feel a surge of elation. Even K's, in the consciousness space, received a message from the system. Major personality trust dependency value. 40% after signing the contract with Shueisha and expressing his gratitude to AM, Naruto hurried back home. He spread the prepared paper and pens on the table, ready for the next step. Naruto called out to K's within his mind, seeking his guidance. K's, the manuscript is sent. The 20,000 words will be serialized in the magazine first. Once it reaches 100,000 words, the publishing house will print a booklet for sale. Now, let's continue writing the rest of the story. Having relished Kishimoto's flattery, Naruto's eagerness to write and publish his work had intensified. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it alone, he relied on K's assistance. I've seen the process, so there's no need to repeat it, K's responded calmly. However, we need to discuss the income distribution among us. Income? Naruto was puzzled. Can't we just share the money we earn? K's voice turned cold as he sneered. I wrote the words and conceived the plot. You merely lend me your body. Do you think it's fair for us to split it equally? Naruto couldn't deny the truth in K's words. Feeling discouraged, he asked, alright, then how should we divide it? 90% for me, and 10% for you, K's declared. 10% is enough for you to fulfill your dream of free ramen, while the remaining 90% has no use for you. What? I only get 10%. Naruto's head drooped, and he lamented, you don't even come out often. Why do you need so much money? K's cold voice remained unwavering. You don't need to concern yourself with that. Just say whether you agree or disagree. Seeing K's determination, Naruto reluctantly agreed. Fine, I agree. You have the final say. He added with a hint of resignation, as long as I have free ramen, I don't really know how to spend too much money anyway. Major personality trust dependency value. 38%. The 2% drop in the falsely inflated trust value didn't bother K's. Until it reached 80%, Naruto knew it was all just a castle in the air, so he didn't pay much attention to it. Leave your body, and I'll finish writing the remaining 80,000 words in one afternoon, K's commanded. With his elite Jonin physical fitness, K's could write 7 to 8 characters per second. Combined with the time needed for conception, one afternoon was sufficient. Okay. Naruto surrendered control of his body, and the sound of a pencil scratching against paper filled the room. Hours flew by, and as the evening approached, K's finished writing the last word and returned control of Naruto's body. After spending the entire afternoon writing, Naruto felt a bit exhausted. Already done so soon. I wasn't done reading it. Kei's ignored Naruto's unsatisfied expression and closed his eyes, entering a state of meditation within the consciousness space. Naruto, clutching the stack of manuscripts, left his home and headed towards Ichiraku Ramen. He planned to have dinner there and show the manuscript to Aim, as promised earlier. The next day, Naruto woke up naturally and made his way to the Hokage building. Although he had already passed the graduation exam and obtained his ninja headband, he still needed to take official pictures and complete the registration process to become an official shinobi of Konoha village. Today was the only day allotted for registration and photo taking, and the place was bustling with people. Despite the crowds, Naruto took his time to paint a large painted face of himself, just as he did in the original story. He considered it an art form for taking pictures. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen reprimanded him for his painted face and asked him to retake the photo. Soon after, Konohamaru appeared and began pestering Naruto, much like the events from the original story. Naruto taught Konohamaru the sexy jutsu and ninja techniques, forging a bond between them. In the evening, Kei's persisted in maintaining control over the body as he continued to write his novels. The early morning arrived swiftly. Due to his assigned shift, Naruto rose early. Upon reaching the Ninja Academy, he promptly proceeded to his designated seat. By this time, the classroom, Naruto failed to grasp Sasuke's true emotions and assumed that Sasuke was merely feigning coolness and handsomeness. Upon hearing Naruto's muttering, Sasuke's gloomy expression turned instantly dark. Yet, he refrained from his usual sneering and instead averted his gaze. Observing Sasuke's lack of provocation, Naruto decided against teasing him any further. He leaned on the table, contemplating the class arrangements. If only I could be in the same team as Sakura. But even if that's not possible, at least not in the same team as Sasuke. Besides, I'm not the last person on the academy's list. She might begin to like me. Just as he muttered to himself, Sakura, the object of his thoughts, arrived. Naruto, wearing a smirk, believed his dream was about to come true. However, to his dismay, Sakura passed him by and headed directly to Sasuke's side, exchanging greetings with him. Damn Sasuke. What does he have that makes Sakura like him? Just as Naruto prepared to find fault with Sasuke, Iruka entered the classroom from outside. The noisy atmosphere immediately quieted down upon Iruka's arrival. From this point forward, you are independent ninjas. After offering his customary words of education, Iruka picked up the list in his hand. Next, I will announce the class assignments. Team 7. Sakura Haruno, Naruto Uzumaki, and Sasuke Uchiha. Team 8. Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburam, and Kiba Inuzuka. Team 10. Shikamaru Nar, Choji Akamichi, and Ino Yamanaka. The room buzzed with a mix of elation and disappointment as exclamations and laments echoed from all corners. Just as Naruto absorbed the class allocations, the Hokage's office bustled with activity. Sitting within the office was Kakashi, engrossed in a copy of young Aming, Kurenai, a distinguished figure adorned in a fishnet outfit, and the disheveled and world-weary Asuma. The trio stood before Hiruzen Sarutobi's desk, fixated on the crystal ball resting atop it. Contained within the crystal ball was an image of Naruto's classroom. Once the class assignments had been finalized, Hiruzen Sarutobi spoke up. Kakashi will lead Team 7, Kurenai will lead Team 8, and Asuma will lead Team 10. Are there any objections to this arrangement? The three individuals exchanged glances, shaking their heads in unison. However, just as the three of them settled their doubts, a skeptical voice emerged from outside. They may have no objections, but I certainly do. I disagree with Kakashi leading Class 7. An aged and frosty voice resonated from beyond the door. Shimura Danzo, accompanied by his supporters Himaru Mitakato and Kaharu Udatane, entered the room one by one. I believe the current Jinchuriki poses a great danger and is unsuitable for Kakashi's guardianship. It should be under the control of our root to prevent any threat to the village. After expressing his views, Danzo turned his gaze to Himaru Mitakato and Kaharu Udatane, seeking their support. Advisor Himaru, Advisor Kaharu, you might not be aware of what transpired with the Jinchuriki, do you? If it weren't for a few people who still have some use for me, even I would have been kept in the dark. Listening to Danzo's eccentric words, Himaru Mitakato and Kaharu Udatane looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with curiosity. They were unaware of the recent events concerning Naruto, and they had been summoned by Danzo, who claimed it was a significant matter related to the village. However, they had heard rumors about Naruto stealing the Scroll of Seals the previous night. With this in mind, Kaharu Udatane was the first to inquire, unable to contain his curiosity. Hokage-sama, does this have anything to do with Naruto stealing the sealed book? Himaru Mitakato followed suit, voicing his own questions. Has the seal on the Jinchuriki deteriorated after learning forbidden knowledge? The queries from the two advisors caught Kakashi's and the others' attention. A problem with the nine-tailed seal could be a matter of life and death. If a situation like the one 12 years ago were to repeat itself, the current village might not survive. The three of them furrowed their brows, awaiting an explanation from Hiruzen Sarutobi. Facing their expectant gazes, Hiruzen Sarutobi maintained his silence. It wasn't due to guilt or fear of exposure, but rather because he felt that Danzo was overreaching. The Anbu, who were clearly tasked with monitoring Naruto, were all under his command, and he had ordered them to keep it a secret. Yet, now it seemed that Danzo was privy to something. It appeared that the Anbu directly under his command needed a thorough re-evaluation. Not speaking for an extended period, Hiruzen Sarutobi finally broke the silence after some contemplation, deciding to disclose the existence of K's. After all, there was no point in hiding it indefinitely. Besides, Naruto was already aware, and he wasn't concerned about someone else stealing this significant asset. Perhaps K's, who had mastered the power of the Nine Tails, could be used to consolidate his own authority. Danzo's presence in the office, accompanied by two high-ranking advisors, was already irksome. Despite feeling irritated, Sarutobi Hiruzen outwardly remained compassed. In truth, I had intended to address Naruto's situation during the upcoming meeting next week. Since you come to inquire today, I will not delay until then. The consciousness occupying Naruto's body is not the Kyuubi, but a sub-personality of Naruto himself, known as Uzumaki Kazekyo. Without granting anyone a chance to recover from their shock, Hiruzen Sarutobi delivered another bombshell. This sub-personality named Uzumaki Kazekyo has successfully harnessed a portion of the Nine Tails' power. I witnessed firsthand as he skillfully manipulated the Nine Tails chakra with a clear mind. Furthermore, this sub-personality remains under Naruto's control. A heavy silence enveloped the room, as the two staggering revelations reverberated among those present. Even Danzo hadn't anticipated the truth to unfold in such a manner. However, he didn't doubt Hiruzen Sarutobi's words. If the Hokage were to lie about such matters, his credibility and the village's safety would be at stake. The sub-personality has mastered the power of the Nine Tails and remains under Naruto's control. We have another trump card for our village. The silence was shattered by the excited voices of Himura Mitakato and Kaharu Utatine. For a village that currently lacks strength, the ability to utilize the formidable power of the Kyuubi was akin to a much-needed reinforcement. That sub-personality's methods are exceedingly brutal. It doesn't seem like an entity content was being controlled. Perhaps those were merely illusions he showed, deceiving you. It is unwise to place any trust in him, Danzo interjected, refusing to give up on his desire to obtain Naruto. He should be handed over to Root immediately, where we can impose restrictions and correct his behavior artificially. I assure you, he will become a powerful weapon that will never rebel. After all, this is the power of the Nine Tails. If he could manipulate it, he could become the 5th Hokage next year. Hiruzen Sarutobi gave Danzo a cold, penetrating stare, seemingly able to discern Danzo's inner thoughts. As for this matter, I will arrange for individuals to closely observe and conduct tests, so it won't inconvenience you at all. Observing that Sarutobi Hiruzen intended to dismiss him, Danzo naturally resisted. He stepped forward directly, his gaze fixed on Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes, and spoke. It concerns the safety of Konoha. I cannot simply stand by and watch. I want to replace the Jinchuriki's instructor with one of my own ninjas. Sarutobi Hiruzen also stood his ground, locking eyes with Danzo. Danzo, there's no need for you to intervene. I don't wish to repeat myself. And let's not forget, I am the Hokage. Upon hearing these words, I am the Hokage, Danzo was instantly consumed by anger. It was the same sentence used to suppress him every time, leaving him with no room for rebuttal. Hiruzen, you will regret this. Uttering a customary parting remark, Danzo angrily brushed off his sleeves and turned to leave. Since the overt path was no longer feasible, he would resort to the covert one. He wouldn't let the power of the Nine Tails slip through his fingers in vain. Once Danzo had departed, Kaharu and Himura promptly followed suit. They had no desire to possess the power of the Jinchuriki and the Nine-Tailed Fox. Their visit had solely been to gather information about Naruto. With everyone gone, Hiruzen Sarutobi motioned for Asuma and Kurenai to leave first. He then led Kakashi toward Naruto's apartment. He needed Kakashi to understand Naruto's current situation, and there were matters he needed to discuss with him. In another classroom. After completing the task of organizing everyone's names, Iruka set the list down. The team leader will join us in the afternoon, so don't be late. Alright, let's disperse and go for lunch. Upon hearing the word dismissal, many students cheered and hastily left the classroom. Sakura, blushing, looked at Sasuke and extended an invitation to eat together. Sasuke-kun, from now on, we'll be teammates. Let's have lunch together and get to know each other. Sasuke didn't turn his head or respond to Sakura's invitation. He simply walked directly out of the classroom through the window. Naruto, who was nearby, leaned forward with a smile on his face. Sakura, if you won't go, I'll accompany you. After all, we'll be teammates, so we need to get acquainted. Sakura glanced at Naruto, her face instantly devoid of its previous rosy shyness. Sorry, I still need to find Sasuke. You should go ahead and eat alone. Without waiting for Naruto's reply, Sakura hurriedly ran out of the classroom. Damn it, Sasuke, that obnoxious guy again. Naruto, in a panic, followed her to the door. However, the crowd obstructed his view, and he couldn't catch a glimpse of Sakura's retreating figure for a long time. I've already surpassed him to become number 1, so why doesn't Sakura like me? Meanwhile, Inuzuka Kiba witnessed the entire scene. With Akamaru perched on his head, Inuzuka Kiba approached Naruto, wearing a playful smile. It's probably because Naruto acts silly and looks like an idiot. But it doesn't matter, I enjoy hanging out with idiots. So why don't you join us for lunch? While Kiba's relationship with Naruto wasn't as close as his friendship with Shikamaru and Choji, it was still better than most others. And considering Naruto's recent rise and their shared clumsiness, Kiba saw an opportunity to grow closer to Naruto and possibly take on missions together in the future. Meanwhile, Hinata's face turned redder as she heard Kiba inviting Naruto. She leaned against the nearby table for support, struggling to remain steady. As for Aburame Shino, he adjusted his sunglasses and murmured something under his breath, too soft for anyone to hear. Amongst all of this, Naruto, with his consciousness focused on the situation, observed the unfolding dynamics. Didn't you mention that as teammates, the three of us should have lunch together to get to know each other? I don't mind Naruto joining in. It's up to you. I just want to make a new friend. These words lingered. Though Kei's heard it clearly, he had no interest in helping the young boy with his conversation skills. Instead, he was preoccupied with thoughts of Haruno Sakura, who had just encountered Naruto and Sasuke. An idea began to take shape in his mind. If Naruto is so infatuated with Sakura, what if she were to die by his hands? No, Sakura alone might not be enough. Perhaps Iruka could get involved, or even Sarutobi Hiruzen. Kei's pondered how tragic deaths, unrelated to himself, could be orchestrated. These deaths would cause Naruto to experience guilt, regret, and self-hatred due to his inability to protect those he cares about. He considered suggesting and planting certain ideas to further fuel the conflicts between Naruto and others, preventing him from emerging victorious in future battles. These combined emotional burdens could potentially shatter all of Naruto's defenses. However, it was only a preliminary concept for now. The specific execution would require careful consideration on Kei's part. With these thoughts in mind, Kei's voice resonated within Naruto's mind. Naruto, reject their invitations. I have a plan that will allow you to have some intimate interactions with Sakura. Upon hearing these words echoing in his mind, Naruto's expression visibly brightened. Observing Naruto's joyful reaction, Inuzuka Kiba assumed Naruto had agreed to join them for lunch. He approached Naruto, grabbed his shoulders, and led him toward the exit. Alright then, let's go. Since Naruto is here, I'll treat you to a barbecue dinner. Even if I end up spending too much money and getting scolded by my mother, it's worth it. The Inuzuka clan was well known and financially secure in Konoha. Their primary occupation revolved around breeding and raising high-quality ninja dogs, allowing them a comfortable lifestyle. So, treating Naruto to a barbecue meal was a simple expense that he could easily afford. However, upon hearing the mention of a barbecue, Naruto's delighted expression suddenly froze. On one side, there was the enticing prospect of a barbecue feast he hadn't enjoyed since childhood. On the other side, there was Sakura, his cherished love interest. Naruto grappled with the difficult decision before him. How should he choose? Ultimately, the desire for closer contact with Sakura prevailed, and with determination, Naruto freed himself from Kiba's grip. Sorry, something just came over me. I remembered I have something else to do. Next time, I'll invite you all for ramen. Without waiting for a response, Naruto hastily rushed out of the classroom, fearing he might change his mind and end up going to the barbecue with them. Outside the classroom, on the second-floor balcony of a nearby building, Sasuke sat, munching on his bread, deep in thought about Naruto. He had learned about the Scroll of Seals through his inquiries the previous day, intending to learn from Naruto and try stealing it. However, his attempt was thwarted when he was promptly kicked out of the Sarutobi mansion by the Anbu. Lost in his frustrations, Sasuke unconsciously squeezed the bread in his hand, his frustration growing. Konoha is so biased, so eccentric. They would rather offer powerful jutsu to a useless fool like Naruto than to me, and Uchiha. Am I forever in the shadow of that bastard? Thinking of his older brother, he scowled. As Sasuke brooded over these thoughts, he failed to notice Naruto sneaking up behind him, a mischievous grin on his face. In the blink of an eye, Naruto swiftly wrapped a black bag around Sasuke, catching him off guard. Whoa. What are you up to? Sasuke exclaimed, struggling against the black bag. It's me, Shikamaru. Not Naruto. Naruto declared with a mischievous smirk, his voice laced with playful deceit. Don't try to fool me. I saw your orange outfit. You Naruto. Sasuke retorted, his frustration mounting. You must have mistaken me for someone else. Maybe you need a little nap, Naruto teased. And just like that, Naruto's voice vanished with Sasuke with a wicked smile out of the classroom window. Dear Sakura, I'm coming, he proclaimed, determined to make his move. Later that afternoon, in the ninja classroom, Sasuke entered, rubbing his still drowsy head. To his surprise, Sakura sat in her seat, her face contorted with anger. Naruto, carrying a black bag piled high like a small mountain on his head, wore a foolish smile on his face. Though perplexed by Sakura's unusual expression, Sasuke paid her no mind. Instead, he headed straight for Naruto. Naruto, you win this time, Sasuke admitted begrudgingly. But mark my words, I'll catch up to you and erase this humiliation. Without waiting for Naruto's reply, Sasuke turned around and found a seat to occupy. As the exchange unfolded before him, Naruto, who was still riding the high of his earlier kiss with Sakura, pretending to be Sasuke, grinned foolishly. A really great prank idea by Kase. He wondered if he should apologize to Sasuke for knocking him unconscious. Just as he was about to speak, he noticed a man entering the classroom who bore a striking resemblance to Shino. This man commanded, Team 7, follow me. One might wonder why the man's attire resembled Shino's. Both individuals were dressed in worn-out garments that covered most of their skin. However, there was a slight distinction. Shino lacked gloves and only sported sunglasses, whereas the newcomer wore gloves and a mask that concealed the upper half of his face. Within Naruto's mind, Kase observed him. Doubts and thoughts flickered across his face. He pondered, is he affiliated with the Root? And questioned the purpose of this unexpected visit. Was there a hidden agenda concerning Naruto? It seemed that Kakashi, the original team leader, had been replaced by an unfamiliar figure. An Abiram. Clearly, the plot had taken an unforeseen turn. Although Hiruzen and Sarutobi had not perished, Danzo and his Root faction had emerged prematurely. Outside the classroom, Naruto, observing the man who had entered, asked a question just as he was about to comply. Are you our team leader? Sakura, who had obediently risen and began to leave, swiftly reprimanded Naruto by lightly tapping his forehead and retorting, idiot, obvious. Annoyed by Naruto's lack of observation skills, Sakura spoke up in annoyance. If he wasn't our teacher, how would he know that we are Team 7? You're just an annoying orphan who lacks observation skills, can only lie, and lacks parental discipline. It was evident that Sakura was still resentful about the earlier incident. Although she refrained from mentioning the loss of her first kiss, she didn't mind venting her frustrations on Naruto instead. Naruto, accustomed to the villagers' harsh curses, paid little heed to Sakura's biting words. He merely clutched his head, feigning pain, and responded with an apologetic smile. Compared to the villagers' venomous remarks, Sakura's words were as feeble as child's play, barely registering a lasting impact. While Naruto disregarded Sakura's words, they struck a nerve with Sasuke. As an orphan without parents, Sakura's comments cut deeply into his own personal pain. Witnessing Naruto's silence and Sakura's derisive smirk, he rose from his seat and approached the two with an icy tone. No one desires to be an orphan, devoid of parents and despised by others, he declared. You don't understand the kind of loneliness where you are alone at home, and no one can tell you what you can do and what you can't do. Sasuke continued, highlighting the isolation of being alone at home, devoid of guidance, and reproached Sakura for easily berating an uneducated and troublesome orphan for his mistakes. You really make me feel sick. Feel sick, feel sick, feel sick. Sasuke's words echoed in Sakura's mind, freezing her in place like a statue. She stood there, petrified, as if turned to stone. Naruto, moved by Sasuke's understanding of his daily struggles and feelings of loneliness, glanced at Sasuke's handsome face, and found himself less irritated, and perhaps even harboring some admiration. He quickly dismissed such thoughts, discarding them as unwelcome. Naruto averted his gaze, fearing that his momentary admiration might be exposed in the next instant. Toru Nabiram, who had been observing the love triangle unfold, introduced himself as their team leader. Without giving Naruto and his companions a chance to refuse, he abruptly turned and led them outside. The absence of Kakashi, their original team leader, was noteworthy, replaced instead by this unfamiliar Abiram. As they exited the school, they were met with the sounds of whizzing and clanging emanating from the surrounding trees. The man clarified that it was a training exercise between the Anbu, designed to safeguard the village against foreign spies. Any doubts and wariness the group harbored were swiftly dispelled by the man's explanation of the drill. Though the activity was taking place at a distance, they could discern the masked figures engaged in the offensive and defensive maneuvers of the Anbu. Quick, let's move faster to avoid interfering with their drill, the man urged, employing this excuse to hasten their pace. Without allowing Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke to question further, he turned and led them on a brisk run. As they proceeded, the paths grew narrower, and the number of people dwindled. Gradually, they approached the Death Forest, a place with roots belonging to the secretive Root organization. Kase knew better than to venture into such dangerous territory. A gentleman avoids standing beneath a treacherous wall, and he had no intention of placing himself in such a dangerous situation. Therefore, he directly cautioned Naruto against entering the Death Forest. "What's the matter?" Naruto exclaimed, startled, as he abruptly halted his steps. He had also sensed something amiss, but had dismissed it as a figment of his imagination. Yet Kase's unease confirmed that it was not a mere illusion. "We're almost there. Why did you stop?" The man, noticing Naruto's hesitation, ceased his own advance and approached him. Naruto instinctively took a few steps back, keeping a cautious distance from the approaching Toru. His expression revealed his guarded state of mind. "Why did you lead us into the Death Forest?" Naruto questioned, his voice laced with suspicion. "Naruto, what's gotten into you? Why did you suddenly stop and retreat?" Sakura, preoccupied with her own thoughts, failed to perceive any cause for concern. "You don't see anything wrong." Naruto remained silent, but Sasuke swiftly moved to Naruto's side, mirroring his wariness. "On our very first day, she brings us to a dangerous place like the Death Forest without any explanation," Sasuke stated, his voice devoid of affection. "We passed several training grounds along the way that could have been suitable for our initial training or meetings, yet she didn't even spare them a glance. You claim Naruto lacks observation skills, but it seems you, too, lack the qualities expected of a ninja." Sasuke's words carried a tinge of resentment towards Sakura, who had already incurred his disfavor. His suspicions about her intentions were now reinforced. "What are you all hesitating for? Come here." Sakura, scolded by Sasuke, felt aggrieved, but promptly joined the two boys by their side. Having their intentions exposed, the man, no longer inclined to feign, dropped her pretenses. A high-ranking jonin like him possessed ample means, courtesy of Danzo, to effortlessly deal with a few individuals. With a casual movement, he taunted them with a cold tone. "So, you figured it out. You really are clever. If only you had followed me obediently. Well, since it's come to this, I suppose I'll have to make you suffer a little." In an instant, the man launched an attack, kicking Sasuke in the stomach with force, sending him flying and leaving a sour taste in his mouth. In the next moment, he swiftly struck Sakura's forehead, causing her to roll her eyes and collapse unconscious to the ground. Unlike Kakashi, the original instructor, the man did not hold back his strength, incapacitating the two apart from Naruto. "Sasuke. Sakura." Naruto's eyes widened with fury and a surge of murderous intent. The captured Naruto wriggled, his limbs flailing in a futile attempt to break free, but his multiple shadow clones were helpless against the man before him. "Bastard. How dare you hurt them? I'll kill you." Multiple shadow clone technique. Several Naruto clones appeared, encircling Toru. "This amount of chakra is exactly as the intelligence described," remarked Toru, unfazed, as he observed the multitude of Naruto clones. The clones lunged at him, attempting to overwhelm him, but in the next moment, they began disappearing one by one, as if dissipating into thin air. The last remaining Naruto clone rushed towards him, but before he could reach him, Toru swiftly retrieved his kunai knife, and deflected his attack. He effortlessly caught him by the head, effectively halting his assault. In less than a minute, he had subdued all three of them, showcasing the strength of an elite jonin, the pinnacle of a village's power. "Bastard. I'll kill you. I'll kill you," shouted Naruto, struggling fiercely but unable to land a blow on the unyielding Abiram. Observing Naruto's intense emotional fluctuations, Toru suddenly remembered something. His expression changed, and he hastily raised his other hand. Could it be emerging? "No, I must act swiftly," or else, muttering under his breath, he clawed his fingers in the air. Blue chakra sparked on each finger. Utilizing these chakras, his 5 fingers forcefully struck the sealing mark on Naruto's abdomen. 5-element seal. This was the technique Danzo had provided to strengthen the seal and sever the connection to the 9 tails chakra. Otherwise, he doubted his ability to quickly subdue Kase, who could harness the power of the 9 tails. Naruto cried out in agony, clutching his pained abdomen. But Toru's whispers reminded him of Kase. He immediately called out urgently in his mind. "Kase. I'm trapped. He harmed Sasuke and Sakura. They're both unconscious. Come and deal with him, just as you did with Mizuki." Confronted by Naruto's plea for assistance, Kase remained silent within his consciousness. He gazed at the continuously rising corruption value on the system panel. Simultaneously, he cast an expectant glance towards the Abiram outside. "It's not enough. Let's intensify it further. If you're an elite Jonin and fall short of Mizuki, I will hold you in contempt. It was the nine-tailed seal on Naruto that Torin had taken an effort to reinforce. What did it have to do with Kei's nine tails? Once he emerged, combining elite ninjutsu with a one-tail chakra mode would lead to utter domination. Outside. Observing the emergence of the five-element seal on Naruto's abdomen, Torin, filled with caution, finally felt at ease. His gaze toward Naruto slowly started lacking wariness. Your alternate persona has yet to manifest. It seems losing the power of the nine tails has made it hesitant to take the initiative. At first, I had hoped to witness it, but now it seems to be nothing more than this. My expectations were in vain. Shaking his head, Torin retrieved a rope and bound Naruto. He then brought the restrained Naruto to Sasuke, who was still retching stomach acid, and tied him up as well. As for Sakura, who lay sprawled on the ground, Torin casually kicked her into the nearby woodland. Sasuke, the son of the Uchiha clan, served as leverage against Uchiha Itachi, much like Naruto, who was the host of the Nine Tails. Sakura, being a commoner, held no value for the rude organization. Torin had brought her along merely to incapacitate Naruto and Sasuke. Sakura. Gazing at Sakura being flung away like a ragdoll, Naruto's eyes turned bloodshot. His gaze then shifted to Torin, filled with a ferocious intent to kill. This time, Naruto didn't need to call within his mind, the system sent a notification. The primary persona's emotions have reached a critical threshold. Do you wish to switch personalities? Kei's didn't immediately switch, but instead glanced at the blackening value. Current blackening value. 5,000, not bad. A surge of 2,800, exceptional compared to Mizuki. Kei's perceived the sudden deviation from the original storyline, and felt that such instances could occur more frequently in the future. It was best to add to his strength whenever he could, especially of an elite Jonin. Exchange for Taijutsu, Torin Aburum, -500 utilizing the blackening value, Kei's conveniently exchanged it for the Taijutsu of Torin, enhancing his own capabilities. Then, Kei's addressed the system. System, switch personalities. In the outside world, as Naruto and Sasuke were being carried away, the expression on Torin's face suddenly changed. Within the blink of an eye, he vanished from his original position and reappeared several meters away. Indeed, the reflexes of an elite Jonin are commendable. At the spot where Aburum disappeared, Kei's, in control of the body, landed gracefully. In addition, he managed to grab hold of the tied-up Sasuke. Naruto, no, you're not Naruto. As the transformed Naruto, Kei's presence was discernible to Sasuke. The previous kindness and genuine desire for companionship had vanished completely. The current Naruto exuded a cold indifference and an air of terror. I am Naruto. Kei's grinned, his smile unsettling to Sasuke. Then, with a swift hand chop, he severed the ropes binding Sasuke and tossed him into the woods where Sakura had been thrown. Observing Kei's actions, Torin refrained from launching a surprise attack. He cautiously asked, Uzumaki Kazekyo. The alter ego of Uzumaki Naruto. Kei's turned his head to face Torin, a wider smile adorning his lips. Bingo, you got it right. As a reward, I'll let you taste the nine tails chakra you've been yearning for. As he uttered those words, a pale red chakra surged out uncontrollably. In an instant, Kei's entire body was enveloped in it. A long, light red chakra tail sprouted from behind him, swinging freely in midair. An overwhelming malevolence emanated from him, filling the surroundings. Nine tails chakra. Impossible. I reinforced the seal to prevent any chakra leakage. Disbelief filled Torin's face as he gazed upon Kei's, his eyes resembling those of someone beholding a monster. Oh, I wasn't aware of the seal. A chilling voice, accompanied by a palpable aura of evil, materialized behind Torin. So swift. Torin was taken aback. Naruto, who had been standing before him, now existed only as a dissipating afterimage. Whoosh. Simultaneously, the sharp whistling of an object slicing through the air resounded from behind. It was too late to dodge. Torin instinctively drew a kunai from his leg holster and swiftly turned to block his chest. However, click. The sound of an object shattering reverberated through the air. Torin's kunai, which he had used to shield himself, had been pressed against his chest by Kei's massive light red tail. A trickle of blood escaped from Torin's mouth and nose. He had sustained an injury from the very first strike. Without hesitation, Torin promptly retreated and distanced himself from Kei's before he could launch another attack. Simultaneously, fear and dread filled his eyes as he looked upon Kei's. No, you're not merely an alter ego. You're the Nine Tails from 12 years ago. Torin's voice echoed so loudly that even Sasuke, who was tending to Sakura's injuries at a distance, could hear it clearly. The Nine Tails broke the seal. The Naruto we just saw was actually the consciousness of the Nine Tails. Surprise registered on Sasuke's face, but there was also a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. While Naruto had exerted effort to catch up to him before, the Naruto standing before him now, resembling a demonic god as he overwhelmed Toru, was someone Sasuke could only look up to. Grateful that such a powerful Naruto wasn't the real Naruto, Sasuke couldn't help but crack a smile. That stings. After tending to Sakura's injuries as best as he could, Sasuke also saw her waking up. Opening her eyes, Sakura saw Sasuke wearing a smile on his face. Suddenly, she exclaimed in surprise, "Sasuke, you saved me. What happened to the impostor teacher?" Hearing Sakura's voice, Sasuke immediately raised a finger to his lips, gesturing for her to be quiet. Then, he pointed toward the ongoing battle. "I didn't save you. It was Kentucky Naruto who saved us." Looking in the direction Sasuke indicated, Sakura couldn't believe her eyes. The very person who had dealt her a devastating blow earlier was now evading Naruto's attacks, wounded and all. And Naruto, who once embodied warmth and naivety, was now void of those qualities. His smile remained, but his eyes held only coldness and cruelty. The sinister and foreboding aura emanating from the red chakra sent shivers down Sakura's spine and filled her heart with panic. Is that Naruto? Why is he so powerful and terrifying? If this was the same Naruto who had stolen her first kiss earlier in the day. Sakura didn't dare to confront Naruto directly, and she wouldn't find the courage to resist. Strangely, Sakura couldn't help but feel that this terrifying Naruto was handsome and captivating. As soon as the thought crossed her mind, Sakura quickly dismissed it. Perhaps it's because of the same vibe as Sasuke. Yes, it must be that. What did you say? Sasuke frowned and turned back, not understanding why Sakura was acting erratically again. Oh, nothing. Look over there, Naruto is on the move again. Trying to divert attention from her slip of the tongue, Sakura quickly focused on the battlefield ahead. Sasuke paid no further attention and turned his gaze back to the front. Meanwhile, upon hearing the name Nine-Tailed Fox being called out again, Kase was exasperated. How boring. Can't you refer to me differently? For example, the fourth Hokage, or the consciousness of the previous Jinchuriki. Hearing Kase's words, Toru was momentarily taken aback. Or rather, he was slightly biased in his thinking. Maybe the presence before him truly represented the chakra left behind by Minato or Kushina. Their sole purpose. To protect their only offspring, Naruto. However, the more he pondered this speculation, the more inconsistencies he found. How could those two individuals rely solely on Taijutsu and Nine-Tails chakra? If it were truly them, he should have been facing the Flying Thunder God technique, or the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. Damn Nine-Tailed Demon Fox, you're quite cunning. I almost fell for your deception. Talking so much during battle and not finishing me off directly. That means the power you can currently harness, just as you've shown, is the chakra of a single tail. You're bluffing and stalling for time, hoping for Anbu reinforcements from the third Hokage. The more he spoke, the more he felt that his analysis was correct. The panic on his face gradually subsided, and he regained his composure. Upon reflection, he realized that he had been injured earlier due to Kase's surprise attack. And because he was unnerved by the Nine-Tails chakra, he had fought against Kase without utilizing any ninjutsu at all. He was not a physical combatant, his true strength lay in ninjutsu. So I've been stalling for time. Kase couldn't help but laugh at the Aburum's deduction. He dared to underestimate someone who had incapacitated him with a single strike. You're quite confident, but you have no idea how long your strength will keep you confident. As his words fell, the ground beneath Kase's feet suddenly cracked. In the next moment, he reappeared in front of Toru, his tail sweeping down vertically behind him. Meanwhile, he had long prepared himself for the situation. He bit his glove and removed it, revealing a palm with a vivid purple complexion. Following this, both palms moved swiftly toward the split foxtail. Zzz. The moment the foxtail made contact with the palm, a scorching sound resonated. The light red color was instantly engulfed by the purple hue, forming purple spots. Phosphorus bugs, nanoscale poisonous bugs that I have cultivated. It's a ninjutsu I take pride in, Toru declared. How does it feel? He asked, his tone calm yet laced with arrogance. As Danzo's right-hand man, his ninjutsu posed a significant threat even to cage-level ninjas. Accidental contact with his bugs would result in severe injuries or death. It's nothing more than bugs that can be crushed, Kase sneered, retracting the reddish foxtail behind him. The purple spots on it swiftly disappeared, visible evidence of his resilience. He wasn't Naruto who relied on the power of the Nine Tails. This was his own limitless chakra. With his entire body covered in it, he resembled the Nine Tails itself, a being made of chakra. As long as he didn't deplete his chakra, even being engulfed in these phosphorus bugs would have no effect. It was simply unfortunate for Toru to have crossed paths with him. As an elite nin might have been compelled to fight him head-on. I hope my lord won't fault me for disabling the Jinchuriki, Torin whispered, raising his hands in front of his mouth, his eyes cold and his cheeks puffed up. Secret technique. Poisonous dust. He blew forcefully from his protruding cheeks, and instantly, a purple mist billowed forth, enveloping Kaze. Kaze neither dodged nor evaded. Instead, he willingly stepped into the poisonous mist. Is that all? Kaze shook his head disappointedly. Torin's face contorted with fury as he continued spewing poisonous mist. Impossible. Even with the chakra protecting you, my poisonous insects should penetrate deep into your flesh and bones. What have you done? Why aren't you dead yet? His once proud demeanor was now replaced with embarrassment and rage, realizing his potent poisonous insects had no effect whatsoever. I'm not dead, but you're about to be, Kaze said casually, having navigated through the poisonous fog. While Torin was distracted by his own disbelief, Kaze appeared right in front of him, swiftly gripping his arm. Simultaneously, the Nine Tails chakra extended, seizing Torin by the neck and hoisting him into the air. You bastard. Torin exclaimed, attempting to break free as soon as he was caught by Kaze. But Kaze's grip was unyielding, like an iron vice, rendering escape impossible. Helplessly suspended by his neck, his life now hung by a thread. After dispelling the poisonous mist surrounding him using the Nine Tails chakra, Kaze examined the captured root member with indifference, raising him to eye level. Tell me, who sent you to deceive us? Kaze asked in a detached tone. Be honest, it might just save your life. Although Kaze knew that Danzo was the mastermind behind the scenes, he maintained the pretense of seeking information. Didn't they teach you the ninja code in the academy? Torin sneered, displaying no signs of concern or fear about being captured. Do what you will, but I suggest you hurry. Otherwise, reinforcements will arrive, and you won't stand a chance. As Danzo's right-hand man, Torin was anxious, knowing there would be danger if he delayed. However, the true danger lay in the capture of him, as Hiruzen Sarutobi would seize the opportunity to rebuke and reprimand Danzo. Moreover, being caught after a failed mission meant his life was forfeit anyway. So, his only solution was to die to prevent any future complications. Once dead, the tongue-bane mark on his tongue would destroy his head, erasing any traces. I admire your resilience, Kaze remarked, tightening his grip on Torin's wrist with his foxtail, piercing it with precision. Torin winced in pain, his eyes locked with Kaze's, a defiant smile on his lips. Unrelenting, Kaze continued his assault. He thrust his foxtail 3 more times, creating gaping wounds in the joints of Torin's hands and feet. Without immediate medical ninjutsu treatment, his hands and feet would be rendered useless. Torin understood the gravity of his situation. His face turned pale, and his eyes filled with despair. He wasn't going to have a peaceful death, was he? Even his once defiant shouts ceased, leaving him resembling a lifeless puppet at Kaze's mercy. Yet Kaze showed no signs of stopping, reveling in his sadistic curiosity. He continued to impale Torin's body with his foxtail, puncturing it with precise and deliberate strikes. In Naruto's consciousness, the anger had dissipated, and there were no reminders of the increasing blackening value on Kaze's side. Current blackening value. 4500. Observing the pitiful state of the captured root member, Naruto felt a mixture of admiration and sympathy. Kaze, he's already been punished enough. He's received what he deserved. Naruto pleaded, his compassion overriding Kaze's blackened persona, which was fueled by his painful memories. Are you asking me to forgive him? Kaze furrowed his brow as the original plot flashed through his mind, where Naruto repeatedly forgave and empathized with his enemies. Unexplainably, he began to feel a slight queasiness. Sensing the suppressed anger in Kaze's tone, Naruto swiftly responded, No, it's just that I don't believe he deserves to die. Receiving the punishment he deserves should be sufficient. Moreover, he isn't the true culprit, he's merely a ninja following orders. He gave his all, even sacrificing his life, to fulfill his mission. Despite being subjected to torture, he never betrayed anyone. That's pretty cool. I also don't want you to become a cold-blooded killer, so let the village handle him. As he spoke, Naruto brought up Kaze's previous promise once again. And you also promised not to use my body to kill people. Hand him over to the village. Kaze laughed angrily. He could already envision what would happen. Once handed over, Danzo, the second in command, would take him away at any cost, to avoid getting exploited by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Do you not understand his affiliation? Kaze questioned. He's a ninja from Konoha. Do you genuinely expect the village to punish him? Naruto nodded. I have faith in the village. I trust the third Hokage. Am I supposed to believe you? Kaze, seething with anger, ceased his pointless tirade. The reddened foxtail pointed directly at Torin's throat. Danzo would inevitably become an enemy in the future, and Kaze had no intention of letting a tiger return to the mountain. You bastard, stop. Naruto shouted. Stop. As Kei's made his move, a roar echoed from the Forest of Death. Simultaneously, a barrage of kunai and shurikens were unleashed, accompanied by a peculiar surge of spiritual energy. Unfortunately, it was all in vain. The projectiles were blocked by the tailed beast cloak formed by the Nine Tails chakra, and the mental energy was easily evaded as Kei's tilted his head. However, Torun's throat was successfully pierced. Within moments, his lifeless eyes lost their vitality, and his limbs hung weakly. Naruto, recovering from the shock of the scuffle, screamed in his mind. Kei's, you killed him. You murdered him. You're a killer. I refuse to give you my body. I hate you. Get out and return my body to me. Major personality trust dependency value. 10%. Suddenly, an immense suction force arose, causing Kei's consciousness to waver. Struggling to resist, he reluctantly turned his head and left a final remark. Enjoying the show, huh? Unfortunately, my time is up. Upon uttering those words, the Nine Tails chakra disappeared without a trace. Torun, previously suspended midair, crashed to the ground. Only Naruto remained, standing there with a mixture of sorrow and regret etched on his face. Grief-stricken, he appeared lifeless. Regret consumed him for not gaining control of his body sooner. TSK, so you discovered me long ago. As expected of someone who has mastered the power of the Nine Tails, truly remarkable. The white-haired figure with a mask covering his dead fish eyes descended from a tree, blocking Naruto's path. In his hand, he held a book titled Young Aming. Even as he spoke, his gaze remained fixed on the book's contents. Hada Kakashi. Another set of individuals also appeared within the Forest of Death. Among them was Danzo's trusted subordinate, Yamanaka. He was accompanied by a group of masked root ninjas. Today's business concludes here. Take the corpse with you, Kakashi commanded, closing the book in his hand. He gazed at the small group before him, warning evident in his eyes. Or else, I won't hesitate to deal with all of you. Aware of Kakashi's formidable strength, Yamanaka refrained from speaking harshly. He signaled for his subordinates to retrieve Torun's lifeless body, then turned and departed. Meanwhile, Sakura and Sasuke stepped forward, joining Naruto. The three of them exchanged hushed words before casting wary glances at Kakashi. What a troublesome situation, Kakashi sighed, his dead fish eyes filled with a sense of helplessness. Who would have anticipated that Danzo's actions would be swift and audacious? After the morning argument, they swiftly took action to apprehend their targets. However, witnessing Naruto's alter ego in action, Kakashi believed it was all worth it. As expected, just as the intelligence had indicated, would rise to the occasion when faced with danger. Although his methods were ruthless, his nature remained unconventional. It could only be said that he truly inherited Minato-sensei's exceptional qualities, setting him apart from ordinary individuals. As for whether this alter ego was truly the consciousness of the Nine Tails, Kakashi had peered into it briefly with his Sharingan, confirming that the Kyuubi remained securely sealed within Naruto. It even cast him a disapproving glare for his intrusion. Don't give me that look. I am your team leader, Hada Kakashi, he remarked, acknowledging her doubt. I understand your skepticism, but for now, follow me. I'll take you to see Iruka. Considering past lessons learned, Kakashi understood that while he claimed to be their team's teacher, Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke couldn't fully trust him. Kakashi, too, comprehended this reality, leading the trio along a crowded path. They swiftly returned to the Ninja Academy. Iruka, anxiously awaiting their arrival, let out a long sigh of relief upon seeing them safe and sound. After explaining the situation to the three of them, Iruka vouched for Kakashi. Even though you're under me, you haven't passed yet, Kakashi stated, reopening the pages of the Boy Aming book and flipping through its contents. Well, you handled the previous situation well, not falling prey to the imposter teacher. If you wish to grow into capable ninjas under my guidance, you must undergo certain assessments. Assessments? Sakura's face betrayed her confusion and bewilderment. She turned to Naruto and Sasuke beside her, helping. Regrettably, Sasuke kept his head lowered, lost in his thoughts, while Naruto gazed absent-mindedly at the sky, occasionally displaying signs of remorse. Evidently, the incident involving Torun's influence had not entirely dissipated from their minds. Thus, Sakura mustered the courage to inquire, "We've already successfully graduated, doesn't that serve as our passage?" Kakashi nodded approvingly at Sakura's response, and continued, "That was merely the school's graduation assessment. I'm referring to your assessment as ninjas. In short, if you fail, you'll be sent back home to continue your studies at the academy." Kakashi's face momentarily displayed a hint of malice, relishing the thought of their potential failure. "By the way," Kakashi added, a mischievous glint in his eye, "let me gently remind you that out of the 27 graduates, only 9 will be recognized as genin. The elimination rate stands at a staggering 70%. Even Sasuke and Naruto, who had been paying little attention, were now filled with a sense of trepidation. All eyes turned towards Kakashi, awaiting further explanation. To be more precise, tomorrow you will embark on a mission known as the Ninja Survival Exercise, Kakashi declared, his voice laced with seriousness. And in this exercise, your opponent will be me. He paused momentarily, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. However, to his disappointment, the three young ninjas didn't show as much reaction as he had hoped. It seemed the recent ordeal with the imposter teacher had left a profound impact on them. In that case, let's forget about the introductions. I assume you've already become quite acquainted, Kakashi remarked, closing the boy Omning book. Now, disband for now, and I'll see you at the training grounds tomorrow morning. With that, Kakashi prepared to leave. But before he disappeared, a thought crossed his mind, prompting him to turn back and address the trio once more. Oh, one last thing. Don't eat breakfast tomorrow, unless you want me to make you regret it. Until then, goodbye, everyone. After providing the necessary information, Kakashi vanished in a flash of movement. I should head back as well. See you tomorrow, Naruto murmured, his expression filled with gloom, before he turned and walked away. Naruto Sakura voiced her concern, her face etched with worry. She glanced at Sasuke, hoping to find a similar sense of unease. Sasuke, however, had already noticed Naruto's distress, and seemed to have an inkling of what might be troubling him. And that concludes this episode. If you enjoyed it, I'd seriously love it if you guys could leave a like on the video, as it genuinely helps out so much, and it keeps me going, plus it takes only 1 second. That said, have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.